Being socially awkward sucks. You want to have the ability to strike up a conversation with somebody on autopilot, whether it's a girl you find attractive, participating in social events, or just simply not overthinking your own flaws when talking to somebody for the first time. And if what I just said sounds like you, then you're not alone.
Feeling anxious. A solution to feeling awkward.
For most of my life, I was that socially awkward guy that would not work up the nerve to talk to new people. And if I did, I'd be overanalyzing and overthinking so many things and be completely out of the present moment in any given conversation. And it was a terrible experience until I had this one mindset shift that I'm about to share with you that got me automatically into a social flow at will. But before we continue, hi, my name's Noah. I want you to level up alongside me as we level up together on this self-improvement journey, because you know how lonely self-improvement can be, and I'm not gonna lie, look, you need friends. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you can be notified whenever I drop a new video. And let's continue. So let's start off with why you're potentially socially awkward. Now, there's multiple different factors that could come into play as to why you're awkward in the first place. The reason why you're socially awkward could be of one of three reasons. Either one, when you're younger, your parents probably told you, oh, don't talk to strangers because, you know, stranger danger and shit like that, right? Or perhaps it could be you getting embarrassed or humiliated at some point in your life, or rejected before. Or it could be some form of trauma that you had in early childhood where like now you just refrain from any social encounters that ensues. And so by you refraining from it due to fear of judgment or potentially something escalating even physically if you got beat as a kid. And it's unfortunate because all those things seem to limit you in your social potential. And not even to get on like a whole side tangent, but nowadays you rarely ever see people interacting. Every single time people are on their phones, avoiding social interactions, having like a mean face going on, not looking very approachable, using that like avoidment style. Like the biggest thing you gotta take away from that is if you become aware of like what could have been the trigger for you to become this socially inadequate, it's probably one of those three reasons. And so you can't have those past experiences limit you. You gotta understand that those past experiences do not define you. So when you call yourself an antisocial person or someone who's not very approachable or able to have a conversation with others, it's bullshit, because you're able to have a conversation with any other one of your family members or any other potential friend that you have. Is no different from talking to anybody else. You always start from somewhere, right? And so by you placing this self-limiting belief that like, what if this person is judging me? What if I get rejected? Like, your past does not necessarily define you. It's only you perceiving it that way, and it all comes down to perception and all that other shit. Moving on from that, we gotta also acknowledge your habits is a big indicator on how you are socially. What I like to say, show me your habits and I can tell if you're awkward or not. I try to sound so philosophical right there, or like say some type of like holy grail quote, but show me your habits and I'll tell you if you're awkward, right? So the world we live in is very superficial, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just reality. And so there's this thing known as like the halo effect, and basically what that is like when you're a more attractive person that knows how to take care of themselves, they're well groomed. I'm not groomed right now. Y'all see how crazy my braids look. But essentially when you look better, you not only feel better, but people tend to treat you better than if you were to look like an ogre or something. So you would have to improve yourself appearance wise to look more approachable and confident. And you don't have to go to extreme lengths to make yourself look better like some of these gay ass looks maxers with putting all these estrogenic things on their faces. And if some of y'all didn't understand that joke I made with estrogenics and putting estrogen products on your face that ruins your hormones, I'll make a video on that in the future. Essentially, when you just do little habits like going to the gym, because when you build that body in the gym, it gives you that inkling of confidence and hard work. So now you have something to be confident about. And through that hard work of you putting that work in the gym to build your physique, showing off, guys, that would also bleed over to every other social interaction. And vice versa, when you put that same mindset that you had in the gym when you're sculpting your physique, you also got to translate that. Like, imagine this, you're a beginner in the gym, you build your body, you take this mindset and then you carry it on over to any other social interaction. You start off in an unknown area, unfamiliar to you, unknown territory, until you become more used to it, similar to how you did with the gym. So if you want to stop being socially awkward, you have to put yourself in social or uncomfortable social interaction. And by doing so, you focus less on yourself and more on the other person. When I say you got to focus less on yourself and more on the other person, what I mean by that is that nobody gives a All right. And what I mean by that is that nobody gives a fuck about your flaws other than you. You are your biggest critic, but you're also more than capable of proving that you have the ability to progress in something. But knowing that you could strike up a conversation with literally anybody and gain some type of social experience, it's still experience at the end of the day. So you're still leveling up your social abilities. And so by doing this enough times, that's where the confidence comes. So repetition breeds confidence. Like, if you want to be social, what I personally do, because I'm weird as fuck, like I like to observe other social people around me. Essentially, you want to like emulate someone you look up to, either like a YouTuber or a friend. That's what I did. I would observe what one of my like good social friends would do in any given situation, whether it be a party or talking to a girl. Copy the most social people you know and try to add your own personality and your own flair onto it. And authenticity and just being yourself and relaxed is probably the best way to go about it. I know being yourself is kind of like cliche advice, and some would say it's bad advice, but authenticity is probably the best way to go about it. Now, if you have certain parts of your personality that needs tweaking and people find generally annoying, definitely work on that, but like, you don't want to present yourself as someone you're not. You feel me? It's not pretty. I'll give an example. This is a bit extreme, but when I first met my friend, we'll call him Z. I don't know if he wants me to put his full name in this video. One of the first things I said to this kid was that he looks like a girl I talked to. He's from Pakistan, and the girl I was talking to was from Pakistan too. And immediately when I said this, bro looks so bewildered. He's like, what the fuck? Now, you don't have to be as autistic as I was, because I can just like, I've done this so many times to the point to where I can just create that rapport immediately to make it seem as if I've known you for like years. But essentially, you want to strike up a conversation. You could compliment somebody. You could compliment like their physique if you see someone at the gym, and then afterwards you make a little small talk and show bits and pieces of your personality from there. And another key tip I want to give you is that people who are social show it via their body language, with engaged listening with their eyes and ears, paying close attention to what they're saying, and that you're fully present in the moment with them. Lastly, stop calling yourself an antisocial person. If you are that type of person that does that, I might end up going on a little side tangent for this section, but when people say that, I can't help but just cringe. Like, why are you putting that label on yourself as someone who's antisocial? Why would you want to limit yourself that way and potentially hinder the likelihood of you produce opportunities with a given career, relationships, and life? Because all those things come about when you become a more social person that's able to cultivate any type of conversation with literally anyone. I'm gonna put it simply, if you want to become more social, you gotta, one, leave your house. Like, literally stop playing the game, stop watching videos like this, because it's all the same shit, because we're all social creatures, and for you to put yourself in solitary confinement and call it self-improvement isn't really the case. Now, does that mean you have to be the most extroverted person? No, but you don't want to put yourself in solitary confinement and lock yourself in a room and not talk to anybody. So for me, when I don't have any social interactions, my social skills are off. Like, I'm rarely able to keep a conversation going, and I just feel so socially inadequate whenever I go long periods I'll talk to people. So always be outside, say hi to that one person that's walking their dog, say hi to your neighbor, just spark up a conversation with literally anybody. Now, does that mean go outside, go to parties every single day? Now, parties can't help, but does that mean like you gotta be outside every day and doing degenerate shit? No, but it just means you gotta put yourself in uncomfortable situations that enable you and force you to grow if you want to become social. And I understand we all have social batteries, and some of us have our limits compared to others, but you got to understand that cultivating a connection and communicating with other human beings is part of the human experience. And if you don't fulfill that, that's a very sad existence. So after exposing yourself in social situations, naturally you'll just become more socially magnetic and get into a social flow state that people will actually want to be around. But that brings me to the end of this video. This is kind of like a quick short one, because stopping yourself from being socially awkward isn't really that hard once you get into the habit of it. If you guys found this video valuable, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, so this gets pushed into the algorithm for someone who needs to hear or see this. I'm gonna see you guys. Peace.